Hello everyone, I'm going to do a review and test of these Olight 18650 lithium-ion batteries. This is the 3400 milliamp 3.6 volt 12.2 watt hour protected battery. Now the seller that I bought these from is claiming that these are the Panasonic 18650B batteries with a protection circuit added to them to keep them from being overcharged or over drained. Basically, they're protected batteries that should last longer than an unprotected battery if the unprotected battery is not taken care of. This battery actually just basically protects itself against either one of those situations, overcharging or undercharging. Now, the 18650B battery from Panasonic is actually a Japanese-made battery. These batteries, if you look here, we'll see they are made in China. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have the Panasonic battery in them. They could be importing the Panasonic battery and just adding the circuitry to them. Short of cutting it open and destroying the cell, there's no real way to tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it out, and then I'm going to put it into my LiPro balance charger, and I'm going to test out its capabilities as far as a standard charge and drain, and then I'm going to push it to overcharge and under drain to see if the protection circuitry actually kicks in. So first we're going to test to make sure that it is a 3400 milliamp hour battery by doing a standard charge with my IntelliCharger right here, and then we're going to go from there. These are the NCR 18650B cells that are alleged to be inside this battery. So let's just take one out for a second. And notice that there's a length difference. So basically I think that's the battery plus the protection circuit on the top that makes that difference in length. But regardless, I'm going to put that back and out of the way. Next thing I'm going to do here is cut this open out of the package and look at the actual diameter. Okay, here we have the Olight 18650B based oil, Panasonic based battery, as they say it is anyways. Product number is ORB-186P34 for hydrating devices. There's the safety information, made in China of course, negative, positive on label on it. The heat shrink wrapping looks fairly professional. The overall manufacturer looks pretty good. So next we're going to check the diameter. And we get 18.25 on the diameter. The Panasonic here, we get on that, about the same, 18.23. So just a little bit thicker. Let's check. I'm going to check the length. I'm going to put a piece of tape over the end here so we don't short it with the calipers and cause a fire or malfunction or anything like that. So here we go. Okay, 68.86 millimeters in length from the bottom of the battery to the head of the battery. Compared to the Panasonic here, I'm going to be real careful here, 64.97. So as you can see in 96, it's definitely a longer battery. So make sure that those two things, the dimensions, are going to work inside the device you're going to plug this battery into. Okay. Next, I'm going to charge it fully, and then I'm going to use my LiPro balance charger to see how much of a charge it actually holds and how quickly it drains. So pick it up there. Alright, we have a full charge on this battery, so I'm just going to take it out of my IntelliCharger i4. This is a revision 2 from Nightcore, as you can see there. So, excellent charger, I recommend it. Let's see what the voltage is on that battery right out of the chute. And get my fingers to work right. Okay, 4.19 volts, 4.18, 1918. Anyway, so full charge, and we're going to put it into my LiPro balance charger, the IMAX B6. with the little modification I made with this battery charger. Basically hooking it up straight to the this little battery charger to this charger. It's basically a connecting device more than anything else. So there we are, and I'm going to drain it to find out what the total charge on the battery is. So let's go there. I'm going to choose 1 amp, single cell. Oops, I want to discharge it. Sorry. Charge, balance, fast charge, storage. There, discharge. So 1 amp, 3 volts, down to 3 volts. So let's see what we get. Now, according to Panasonic, 2.5 is the lower end. I'm just leaving it on the defaults that the charger uses. So let me show you that. There we go. And after I start this up, I'm going to put it on time lapse. There we are. And let's start it up. Seize the battery. There we go. Now time lapse it. Okay, we finished charging here, and I see my stats are 222 minutes, 31 seconds, almost identical to my test on the Panasonic 18650B unprotected cell, and I actually got a slightly larger or a better reading out of it. I got 3283 out of it. I think I got 3253 out of the other battery, so it's definitely right in there with the right milliamp storage values. Again, I'm not going to drain this battery fully all the way down to 2.5, which is the minimum discharge point for the battery before damage starts happening. I like to keep my batteries working as long as possible. Obviously, this is within spec of that Panasonic battery, so I think what they're saying about the battery at being a 3400 milliamp hour battery is totally true. And you know, obviously the battery is performing to spec. Next, I'm going to test its overcharge and undercharge protection circuitry by taking it down below the 3 volts. Okay, so at this point I'm going to discharge it even further and see if it triggers at 2.5. Alright, I couldn't set the LiPo discharge to below the 2.5 volts, but nickel metal hydride discharge will let it go down to 2.4 volts. So that should trigger the battery protection. We'll see what happens after we do this test. Okay, my charger just said that it went to 2.4 volts, and apparently my charger is lying because I've got 3.02 volts on the battery itself. So let's go even lower with this. Let's go to 2 volts, and this time I'm going to leave the charger running, the meter running, to see what we get. I'm not in spec on the meter. It says 2.4 volts, and I got 2.73 here. So I'm just going to wait here and wait for this to actually trigger down. At the rate it's going, it shouldn't take too long. The discrepancy between the meter and the charger may be the resistance in the wiring. So I might address that in the future by making the cable shorter and thicker. Okay, we're down to 257 on the meter. 249. I don't know when the charge protection circuitry is going to kick in here. Kicking in so far. There it is. It just gave me a connection break, which means that this is actually now you know, been tripped, and the protection circuitry is actually stopping any further current drain. So I'll rewind the video to the point where that came through, and you know, there's some measure difference between the meter and what it actually tripped at. I think it was below 2.5, but it's close enough. Let's check the battery outside of the apparatus and see what we get. Okay, obviously it's now tripped on an open circuit. I got no voltage on it at all. So I'm going to put it back in the charger and see if we can bring it back up. Okay, charge it up to 3.7 volts, see what happens. See if it'll even take it. Short error. So it's still an open circuit. I'm not sure whether that's going to set itself back or whether it's permanently off at this point. We'll see. Okay, I just put the battery back into my IntelliCharger i4, and that seems to have reset the protection circuitry. So let's see what we have for a voltage at this point. .99, which is more than the 2.5 volt never drain. So obviously the protection circuitry is doing a good job of protecting this from under or discharging below the level that is harmful to the battery. So let's see, put it back into my charger. Low voltage, okay. Yeah, I'll have to charge it up on the other charger, the IntelliCharger. So let's see what we get on that. Okay, and when that's done charging, I'll bring the video back and then I'll do the overcharge protection test to see how that protection circuit is working on that. But up to this point, obviously that worked just fine. That's exactly what it should have done. It should have shut off after it sensed that it went below 2.5 on the battery. And I pretty well suspect that the resistance in my cable is part of the difference in the voltage, and I'd say the circuitry is working just fine on that battery. Okay, after a few minutes in the IntelliCharger i4, the battery voltage has gone up high enough that I can use the LiPro balance charger again to charge it. So I'm just going to use this charger here as it shows you the current voltage and let it go to the top, see what happens. And then after that, I'm going to overcharge it, or try and overcharge it and see what happens. Okay, so we know that the protection circuit works on the undercharging, and I noticed that there's a 0.2 volt difference between the meter and the charger, and that's probably because of the length of the wire I'm using to charge the battery and all the hardware that's in between there and there. And that, so, you know, it's consistent anyways, so I'll show you that here by starting the charge. And, well, now it's actually pretty close. There we go. Yeah, pretty well bang on at this point. So it made a liar of me. Probably got the meter leads on the alligator clips a little better, and I'm getting better contact there. So 421 right at this point, and I'm pretty sure we're pretty near the top of the charging for this battery. I'm going to see if I can overcharge it, or whether the protection circuit will actually kick in at that point. Okay, so my charger says it's full. My meter says it's 4.21 volts, and the charger says 4.19. So, you know, split the difference. We're at 420, which is where it should be. I'm going to see if I can put more into it than 420 and if it'll cut off. So basically, I'm testing the protection circuit here at this point. Alright, so there we go. It's starting to go up to 4.3 volts at this point. And I'm going to keep charging it and see where it cuts off. Alright, an excellent result here. You'll see that the battery actually has protected itself from overcharging at 4.25. It's the stated output at this point. and you'll see that the charger says connection break. What that means is that obviously we have an open circuit on the battery. So I'm going to disconnect this battery and see how long it takes to reset, and check it again. Well, actually I should just check it right now. But I'm glad to see that the protection circuit's working exactly as advertised. So this battery is definitely delivering on its promises. Yeah, it resets pretty quickly. I'm 429 at this point. I'll let it go for a little bit, see what happens. Okay, connection break again. Obviously, as you can see, this protection circuit has protected this battery from overcharging to 425, I believe, which is well within spec. It's perfect. The protection circuit on this battery is working exactly as it should. Next thing I think I'll do, maybe I'll test it with 3 Panasonics in my large flashlight to see if it'll protect itself there. Okay, I'm going to test the Olight here as a single cell in one of my flashlights. But one of the things I wanted to point out to everybody, and this is on the Panasonics, these are the NCR 18650Bs, is that they have a flat top. Okay, and that's fine on a single cell flashlight because usually it has a node that will touch down on that top contact, and it'll work just fine. At least it does on mine. But if it does not, like the Skyray King has right here, it will not make contact with that surface because it doesn't come out past the top of the battery or the insulation, right? So this battery won't work in this flashlight, and it won't work when you put them in series with each other either. So I mean, you could just put a blob of solder on top of the top of the contact, positive contact on these batteries, and then go from there. And that's what I think I will do. But just showing you that because you can't have them in series or any other way because they don't make contact with the tops easily. Now on a single cell flashlight, I put them in, they work just fine, right? Because there's a male contact on the flashlight to make contact with that, and a male on this side, so it works just fine. So that's just a side note. I'm going to put this Olight into my Skyray King. And one thing about these Skyray Kings that most people don't know is that they'll run with single battery or all 4 batteries. It's up to you. So I'm just going to put it in there, and I'm going to put it on full power and see where it cuts off. I should time it too. I'll do that too. All right. Okay, so I left it on until it switched off, and this flashlight does not have any protection circuitry in it, so the actual battery should have switched it off. And then after it switched itself off, I left it overnight. So this has been in the on position now for at least 12 hours. Anyway, so we'll see how much of a charge this battery still has, if any. And you saw how long one battery made this flashlight go for. Of course, it was dim towards the end, but that's to be expected. Okay, so let's go and check it. See what kind of voltage we get on it right at this point, if any at all. And it says 0. That's not really good because it shouldn't go down to 0. Now, I'm going to put this in my charger for a second and see if that triggers the circuitry to reset. So I'll just put it in my night core here. Okay, so there it's blinking. Let it go for about 20 seconds or so. Okay, well, not even that. We'll take it out, see what we got now. Maybe that the circuit needs to be turned back on by applying a charge, but we'll see here. Still 0. Oh, there we go. You saw that. You saw it turn on. So it's 293. So it did shut off. You need to reset it obviously by starting the charge again. But there you go. It is actually at a proper voltage. Anything higher than 2.5 volts means that the protection circuit actually worked correctly. So at this point, we know you can't undercharge it by just leaving it in the flashlight till it turns off. Let's do a quick test here. Just put it back in the flashlight. And turn it on for a second, see what we get. Yep. Not super bright, but you know, 2.5, 2.93 volts. So there we go. That's my test on this battery. Should cover all the pluses and minuses here. Bottom line, I would recommend this battery to anybody looking for a protected 18650 battery for whatever purpose you're going to use it for. It's protected and it works exactly as advertised. It does exactly what it says it's going to do. It's going to keeps it from overcharging, keeps it from undercharging. So that should extend the life to of the battery quite considerably. They say 500 charges are full charges are what it's spec for. So I mean, you know, not a bad deal. I find them kind of expensive compared to the NCR 18650Bs from Panasonic, but again, those are not unprotected batteries. So unless you're putting them into protected devices that would keep the battery from undercharging or overcharging, then I would have to go with this, because if you don't have protection circuitry, you need to protect the battery from undercharging particularly, and overcharging as well as a safety feature. Of course, my charger, it has, you know, my IntelliCharger i4 has overcharging protection on it, short protection on it, so on. And but my flashlights don't have undercharging. So basically, I should go with these on this. I may actually put a protection circuit into this flashlight, but that'll be another video. Okay, that's it for this battery. That's it for my video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, do me a favor, click on the like button right down here. And you know, if you wish to subscribe to my channel, just click on this link up here. And that should subscribe you to the Richard Lloyd channel, or Richard Lloyd USA channel. Okay, again, thank you very much for your time and watching.